Pragmatics, the relationship of an utterance with its environment. So we study what is the relationship of these two things. No text without context. According to Brown and Yule, text is language that is functional. So whenever we refer to text, we mean the language that is in writing or that may be basis of our speech, which actually performs the function of communication. By functional, text means a language that is doing job in certain context. So when we say functional, it means that whatever we say in a certain context. So there are two things. One, text, that is the language, and then context, right? Context, language basically does the function of being functional, and this is functional only when it is taking place in a certain context. For example, at this very moment, I'm giving a lecture, so it has a certain context of a subject, context of a topic, context of a university course. So all these are contexts, and whatever I say, they are related to my topic. Halliday defines context as what is with the text, and it goes beyond what is said and written. So the part of a communication act which is not found in the word, spoken word, or in the written word is actually forms the basis for context. Whatever we do not say, because we cannot say anything without any context, and nothing can be understood unless this is understood in a certain context. So the relationship of text and context is very integral. We cannot understand any text unless we know the context. You pick up any sentence from the context and try to understand the sentence, the information given in the sentence. It will be vague. You will have the meaning of each individual word. You will have the meaning of the whole utterance. But without a context, you will not be able to understand fully the meaning of that utterance. So context is the unsaid meaning of a sentence or an utterance. It includes other non-verbal goings on the total environment in which a text unfolds. For example, total environment, both the situational context, both the physical context, the environment where a certain context takes place. So this is very important that both things should go equal, side by side. The text should be understood or is understood with the help of the context in which the text is found. Halliday divides text into context of situation or situational context, the situation in which the text takes place, and context of culture, the cultural context, the culture in which the text takes place. So these are two very important things to understand. What is the situation of the context and what is the culture of the context. Unless we are aware of these two things, it is difficult to understand a text. So situational context means environment in which a text actually functions. So what is the environment of that in which the text is taking place? That is very important. The physical environment, right? The characters are taking place in a certain situation. So situation must be known with relation to the context or the physical environment around that context. Why certain things have been said or written on particular occasion and what else not. So important, you can see that. Just imagine for example a scene from a drama, from a play, from a film, etc., in which you find character talking about something, right? They are very much related to the environment they are in. For example, if the people are in a palace, they'll be talking according to their presence in that palace, right? So they will be related to it. So environment will affect on their speech. context of culture, the culture and the ideological background of the society, the text is functional, right? So context of cultural is again very important, that it will tell that the norms of the society, the values of the society, the linguistic groups of the society, the language of the society, that is the religion of the society. So they all will form the background for the text, right? Nothing will go into the text without reference to these backgrounds. So context of culture, culture is very important. The text that is said in a certain context will be of the people, or about the people living in a certain context, having certain values, certain culture, certain religion, right? So whatever they talk will have the essence of all these things in their conversation, or in their text, or whatever they say, or even about the topic. So there are some very common words in our language that cannot be interpreted at all if we don't know the context, especially the physical context of the speaker. There are a lot of things in a text which have to be understood only in the presence of the context that we have. For example, somebody say he is coming here. So even this small sentence is vague unless we know who he is and where he is coming. So this is just a simple example to understand the complexity of this context and text, that to understand it, we need to know all these things very clearly. So no text can be exploited unless we know context in which it has taken place. So it is obvious that we cannot understand any text unless we understand the context in which the text takes place, whether it's written or it's a basis for an oral message or oral communication.